Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
Someone gave me the worst compliment. I think it was a diss, actually, which is...
Oh.
It might be the worst diss that's ever happened to me, which is saying something, because both my parents abused me. But, like, they said that they thought my voice was AI because it was smooth. And that...
Oh, my God.
They were like, I thought you weren't real. And I was like, what the fuck did you... What?
What are you saying?
I almost disliked their comment on Teams, because, like, what do you... I need to go take a 5 and smoke a cigarette.
Yeah, I actually can't be here anymore.
What are you saying? What?
God, nothing is sacred. You're coming for all the jobs, including your own voice and sense of
No, literally.
You hate to see it.
You're giving me an existential crisis right now.
Oh my God.
I hate what just happened here. Welcome to Into Twilight, where we're both real humans. We've never met each other, so we actually can't confirm that, but we are both real. So.
Right. Who can say? But
that's just part of the gag. Like, that's just part of the whole thing. So.
Yeah. We're assuredly not AI, which is great. So. Right. That we can guarantee.
Yeah, that is a promise here. AI can't make this. That's not. They could never.
They die trying.
They'd burn up the planet trying. How are you?
I'm here. I'm living. I regret to inform you, or maybe I'm pleased to inform you that I did.
Are you back on Tumblr?
Listen.
Oh no.
Let's one thing at a time, okay?
Oh.
I've made a purchase. I've been on my eBay shit. Okay?
Yeah.
Listen. I don't fuck with New Year's resolutions because I don't want to.
Hey, me either.
I don't want to disappoint myself, But I do like to, reassess sometimes.
Right.
And I have been really trying to get back into having like a creative hobby again, because it's very important, and I've been very out of touch with it for a while. And photography was a very large part of my life, and like media and stuff in that regard for a long time, and I kind of just stopped doing it.
Is this you soft launching that you're getting back into vlogging again, Cody?
God, could you imagine? I'm like, hello, welcome back, YouTube. No, never. So I was like, I got a little like, point and shoot like disposable like months ago. Okay. And I was like, let me just take it. I went on a trip and I just used it. I'm like, this was fun. That's fun to do. It's fun to have a separate thing.
Yeah.
And just like ship it off and get it back. And that was a fun little rush. And I was like, you know what the fuck I could do? I could look up cameras that were made in 2003 that are modern enough to work with lenses I already own, but are also old enough to be 35 millimeter film cameras. And so I can still have that like relearning and having the technical and manual aspects of it while still like having it work with everything that I already have.
Yeah. And
so I got one, and I'm very excited about it. And it was like $20, and it's fucking sick, and it's plastic, and I love her. And I got a cute little strap to go with it, and I'm excited. I'm excited to be annoying again, but also like relearn and like have my brain, just like think in that way again, and then have like physical, tangible things as a result of that.
Amen. You on that Joe Goldberg grind. You're gonna get a fucking red room, start printing out your photos. I love that.
Yeah.
I always wanted to like develop photos. We had a photography class in high school, and I always wanted to do that, but I didn't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like I've always been like, I have a bunch of like film like point and shoots, but a lot of times I've thrifted those, and that means there's a very high chance that they're busted.
Oh, no.
Because I've had many times where like films have come out blank, and I'm like, fuck, that's a lot of money, right?
Right. Yeah.
To do that whole thing, and I have forgotten which ones work and which ones don't. And like with this, it's like an actual SLR camera, but it's also film and it's less pressure, but you can still like have the thing in your brain of being like, I'm making something. And that's cool. Or like understanding how light works or whatever. And I feel like I want to nerd out about it all the time now. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm so back. I love having skills. I love being able to my brain and use it.
I love that. That's so cool. The idea of lenses too, like that is I love skills.
Yeah, and it's so fun because I was like, now I get to go back at like my past self, right? And be like, damn, I like cared about this a lot and like invested in things to like be able to use now and be like, fuck yeah, and then in a totally new way, right? Like I got some weird fucking art lenses like forever ago, and I was like, this is fucking cool, like cool past me for looking out like that, and now I get to do that shit with a whole new lease on life, you know? It's fucking sick.
It's interesting because you actually like you acquire stuff for hobbies, but then you do them. And my hobby is getting stuff for hobbies.
Right. Yeah, it's to acquire the things.
Right.
Listen, acquiring stuff is also a great hobby. You know what I mean? Like, it is fun to just have stuff. Because I am also victim to that as well.
Like, my dream hobby would just be, like, running my hands through all the stuff in, like, a Michaels. Like, that would be my dream. It's just, like, imagine all the possibilities.
Yeah.
That's where I get my dopamine
Imagine
from.
if I was a different person who did these things.
That's
Imagine
where,
the world.
Like, I just get the dopamine, and that's great. I don't need to follow through with it. But this, that's following through with it. That's nice.
Yeah. Listen, we're trying out here. I'm trying to just rewire my brain to, you know, to be better. And I think this will help.
I love that. That's beautiful. Wow.
That's my vibe now. This is me. ... now. By J-Lo. This is my truth.
That's so cute. Oh.
Yeah. How are you doing, my friend?
Oh, man. I'm here.
Man, oh, man.
This isn't my happy thing, but I just wanted to remind you all that I remembered that the watermelon game exists. So I've been playing that this week.
Shit. Hell yeah. Let's go.
So that's been fun. I remembered that it's like Tetris, but less stressful, which has been good for my heart rate this week, which has been... So if y'all forgot about that, get back on there, because that's been nice.
Yeah.
My happy thing this week is the saddest show I've watched in a while.
Yes.
Last week, I had like 2 days left on my Netflix subscription, and I finally caved to peer pressure from two people that had been showcasing this show called Aaaaaand to me. One is friend of the pod, Mel, and another also friend of the pod, Alexis Amber, who had been fucking with my FYP by putting these Aaaaaand edits on. And I was just like, what the hell is this gay show? And I was like, you know what? Fine, I have 2 days left. I'm just going to watch it and see what's up. As I texted you, I didn't know until I even got on to start it that it was a League of Legends show. No goddamn clue. None at all. And you don't need to know League of Legends. I did. There was a dark time in my life where I played League of Legends, but you don't need to know it.
Yeah.
Listen,
many such cases. I've been there. I've been there. It's tough. It's tough.
Listen, no judgment here. There's 2 seasons of it. Highly recommend watching it. The best vibes that I can give to you are, it's a little bit Alexis. No. It's got the sibling vibes of Vampire Academy. It's got the pain of... It's got the, like, religious component of endgame Taz Balance.
Okay.
Which is what Alexis had been talking about and eventually got me into it. And then what really interested me about it as well was like, oh, there's like a little bit of what I'm really into, which is, I've told you before, which is Calamity, from Exandria Unlimited. So it's devastating, but it's really good. It's only 2 seasons on there, so you'll get like a fully complete story. The main thing that is important for people to know, the main 2 people are voice acted by Haley Steinfeld, and then for our Yellow Jackets fans, Ella Purnell.
Ooh, huge.
So
huge.
It's very painful, but in a good way. I cannot tell you too much more without spoiling much, but it is good and devastating and beautiful. I'm not usually the kind of person that's like high sci-fi dystopian fantasy. Y'all know that's not really my game. I didn't find it that difficult to plug in and like lock in for this.
Yeah.
And I was so in it. I was so in it that unfortunately I did need to text Mel and be like, damn it, you were right.
You got me.
Now I understand the edits that you were putting on my feed. So if any of you have Netflix right now, I recommend it. It was great.
Hell yeah. Yeah, so, I'm very, very intrigued by it. And all the gay people on my phone love it. So I feel that's a good sign.
It's so gay and beautiful. That you don't even, there's nothing about League that you need to have context for.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't even stress about it. You're fine.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I have never been more excited for a current events segment in my entire life.
We have so much shit. So much happened.
I am literally speechless. Do you want to start with Kristen or Rob?
Let's do a Case Stew corner, okay, since we did touch on this last week. Pew 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 pew. Case Stew, in her music bag, in her guest voice,
in her fucking
on a song bag,
spoken word era.
Yeah.
I told you last week that I had no idea what to expect, but I was excited. Cody?
Yeah.
I didn't know what I didn't know.
Yeah.
What in the love lies bleeding? I thought that it was going to be a bridge. Maybe a chorus.
Sure. Yeah.
Miss Ma'am had the whole song.
She was in it. She was there. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of that one song on After Laughter. That's like spoken word a little bit more. I forget who it is on it. Aaron Weiss, I think. But it's very like that vibe, just being like, we're having like a little beat under here that's a little moody and vibe, and I'm just gonna be talking my shit out here. And I love that song. So this was I was like, fuck yeah, there's a K2 version of this song.
Right,
That's cool. That's fucking sick. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, it wasn't, obviously, it was a lot more put together. But to me, it felt like, oh, K2 just had this voice memo at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And sent it to Lord Huron. It was like, put a beat behind this.
Yeah, how about that?
How about that? Is this anything? And he was like, yeah. Yeah, yeah, it is, actually.
You're right. Yeah, this is great. Thank you.
I loved it. And I wasn't fully, and I think this is just because I have so much K2 trauma from like 2009 to 2012. I was fully expecting the comments of that video to be ripping her apart. The crowd was cheering.
Ugh, yes.
And that healed something in me, actually. To see how many people were like, oh no, we love this. They work so well together. I love this vibe. And that made me very happy. It was kind of spooky. Yeah. It was kind of Area 51. And I loved it.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
I would like to know a little bit more about how this came to be, personally. I'd love to know, like, why this happened, just because I'm personally curious, but I loved it, and I thought that it was great.
Hell yeah.
So good job. Good job, you two. Gold star. We have like 6 different things that have happened with Mickey 17 since we spoke last. Because this press tour, this past week they have been doing a press tour in Seoul for this movie dropping there. And they're like, we're going to give you everything, actually.
Yeah. The content is so delectable. And it's fun to see him on a press tour that, like, he's genuinely enjoying himself and having a good time.
No, literally.
Because this whole time it's just like, we're walking around a shopping, like a food mart, a food hall, and he's the most lit up I've ever seen in my life. Like, he's just beaming. He's just happy to be there. And, like, he's doing content, but he's just kind of hanging out, and it's wonderful. Like, he's just having a good time.
If y'all ever had the audacity to look me in my face and said astrology isn't real, I need you to look at all the press that's come out about Mickey 17 this past week. Because Rob, the only reason why Rob is the most happy and also the most on screen we've ever seen him this past week is because they are leaning in to the fact that he's a Taurus. All the stuff that they've put out is him eating, him walking around, him getting like doted on with people about his color analysis. And he's I've never seen him genuinely smile as much as I have this week when he's with Bong Joon-ho. He loves... I need to see this man's astrocartography because he is doing great in Seoul.
Yeah.
I actually am obsessed. I've watched that ramen prank video so many times.
It's so good. It's so good. And he's so happy. Bong Joon-ho's just like, oh yeah, this is the mild one. It's good. You're a baby. And he's like, fuck, this is hot. And he's just like giggling. Be like, hey, I got him. It's so good. I want them to hang out every day for the rest of their lives.
Even though there is a language barrier between these two men, they have the same humor. And I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah, it's really cute.
I need the photo of them doing the hand heart on the carpet. Yeah. I need it blown up. And
it's
on
so
my
good.
Wall.
Yeah.
He's y'all know this. We've talked about Rob and his red carpet photos many times. You know that he never looks happy. He looks so he's giddy. He looks like a kid.
Yeah. He's just happy to be there. It's so good.
I'm so happy for this man. How do you feel about the new trailer that dropped, by the way?
I had a wonderful time with it. Also, since we first talked about the first trailer, I have now actually read Mickey 7. So now I'm coming in with the lore and the brain now. And this trailer is very fun, and I think the book is very fun. I did think it ended, like, not bad. I was just kind of like, oh, that's it, right? But the way the trailers have been positioning themselves, it feels like it's going to give me more of kind of what I was... Like, a lot of the war stuff, like, all these other, like, fight kind of things kind of happen in, like, the periphery of the book, which I think is a little weird. But here, it's like, it feels more of the narrative, and it feels like all the cool stuff that they kind of, like, drop seeds in, or, like, actually being visualized and are here, which I think is fucking awesome. I love seeing Toni Collette just yell. That's great for me.
It feels like she's playing her character from Knives Out, and I love that.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I'm very, very into that. I'm very excited for that.
I agree with you that this trailer made me more excited. He's got even more voices than the first one. And it also feels like an expansion from the last trailer that we're getting a little bit of a romance between him and I think the character's name is Nasha.
Yeah.
Which I'm intrigued by. There was a moment in that trailer where one of the characters says to Mickey, "You don't look like you were printed out," which is so fucked. Like,
Yeah.
what do you
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
But being able to make something that is such a terrifying premise and being able to make it funny of like, oh, of course Mickey didn't read the paperwork. Is I'm so sad. I'm so ready. And I'm looking forward to it. And being able to see that, at least from the press that we're getting right now, that they seem really happy about it, only makes me more eager to enjoy this film.
Yeah.
I am jealous. I will wait and be patient, but I am jealous because I wanted to be able to watch it at this time, and we're not getting it.
Yeah. One of these days, man.
One of these days.
It's gonna happen.
One of these days. So this episode.
Must we?
I apparently. So this is the season premiere of season 4.
Yeah.
For the Vampire Diaries. It is important for you all to have some context here, because this episode aired October 11th of 2012.
Yeah.
For anyone who remembered where they were in 2012, I was a week into starting my freshman year of college.
Yeah.
So just so that we're locked in.
Right. Just so we're coming from a place of, context and understanding.
Yeah. I would not, for 2 months, so this coming Christmas, receive a naked palette for the first time. I did not have one of those yet. Just so that we're locked in where we are in this universe.
Yeah.
For any of those who were still watching YouTube at the time, I was using Revlon lip butters. Okay? I wore Converse to my freshman year college classes.
Yeah.
I was naive of the world. In a couple weeks, I was going to vote in the first time for an election. Okay? It was a different fucking world. Okay?
Yeah.
Chipotle,
Absolutely.
so cheap. So cheap.
Right. Oh, God, yeah.
It was one of my favorite things to do at the end of the week, was go to Chipotle on campus. So cheap.
Yeah.
Hey, what the fuck was up with the recap this episode?
Listen, I was like, it was giving,
A sequel
how long
to
have
a
we been?
book?
17. Yeah, it was like, what is the lore here of like, oh, let's really recap everything from first, point of view, being like, this is my home. I've lived here all my life. And then
Jacob, my friend, who's a werewolf. Like,
it's so
Girl.
funny because Stefan starts it, and then Damon's like, and me. And then Elena's like, and me. And it's like, what are we doing?
I'm human. At least I was. Bitch,
Yeah. Right.
Who's starting
Mic drop.
season 4?
Just in case you forgot. It's like, okay, we're doing a lot here. We're doing a lot of heavy lifting at the front here. Okay.
Did someone... I didn't look this up ahead of time. So someone is going to need to tell me if you were watching this when this happened. But, like, did they change showrunners or something? Like, what happened? Why does this feel like a different show at the start? Because it felt so weird. And I don't understand. But okay. I will also say I felt a little called out this entire episode, mainly because the fact that I know that Elena's supposed to be transitioning to a vampire. This girl woke up and is now neurodivergent. Because she can hear... I was like, welcome, girl. You can now hear the refrigerator. You can hear your neighbor's truck turn on. This is my everyday life, all right?
It's like, oh, you got the voices too? Sick. Welcome. Come on in.
You can see memories. Welcome.
To you.
You know what it sounds like when your computer turns on in the other room? So, anyway.
Yeah. It's so fun. I mean, obviously it's tragic or whatever, because it's like the one thing she didn't want, yada, yada, yada. However, it was a little funny when they told her what went down, and she was like about to vomit. She was like, ugh, like nasty. Ugh, I don't want to be a vampire, right? Which, like, is fair, because she's losing her autonomy. She didn't make that choice. I get it, right? But saying that in front of Stefan and Damon, who were just like we're right here. Like, I know you don't want this, but also, like, we've kind of been doing this, you know, that's kind of our thing, so you don't have to say it so loud.
God damn.
Like, yeah, like, you can hold your disgust for a second, right? Like, when we're in the room, you know, like, we can relax. Okay, I get it, but a little too much.
What I didn't understand about that, though, that happens in the first, like, 2 minutes of this episode.
Right.
When Damon's like, y'all need to figure this out because there is no door number 3, right?
Yeah.
We need to lock in. You're either going to drink blood or you're going to die, right? There's no...
Yeah.
There is no... this is a binary.
Right.
The way that we talked about this last week, I fully expected that Elena was going to go sicko mode and freak the fuck out like she did a while back on the episode where they were hiking up the hill. Yeah. She fully and maybe this is trauma, right? It could be, but they didn't really explain that if it is. She fully accepted her fate this episode. And I wanted to cool shake her. Because, girl, where is your spine? This is the whole thing. You said that you wanted to be able to make your own choices. You wanted to be able to live and grow old if that was your choice. But you didn't get a choice. Why are you not going to Meredith right now and snapping her neck?
Right. Yeah, it's like, bitch, I'll kill you.
Right.
Like, yeah, she's, like, so cool as a cucumber in a way that is very not her character.
No.
Like, oh, yeah, is what it is. That sucks, right? And it's like, I don't think that's how you would be reacting, given this. And especially for someone who really has a death wish and really wants to be dead. No, literally.
You know? Right? I want to believe, right? I want to give in faith to the writers that it's like, you know, sometimes when you have adrenaline and trauma, you just lock in. And you promise you start to process the emotions later. So maybe it happens next episode, right?
Yeah.
But could you bring the audience in on that? Could it be like right after Rick died when she was packing up the classroom and she was like, Stefan, I don't have time for this right now.
Yeah.
But instead, we're just supposed to accept that she's fine with this when we've, you know, for 3 whole seasons now, have been told that she does not want this.
Right.
Who's this girl? Because it's not Elena.
Right. What happened to my girl? What happened?
I don't understand. Hey, speaking of that girl, who's this fuck-ass pastor?
I am so confused. Like, this diva just struts on in here.
Looking like he eats tuna from Subway, comes in and is like, I'm going to fire all these women and I'm going to actually kill this whole town. Jonestown style. Who are you?
Yeah, like, I feel like we did not get... Because we had it made sense with the, you know, Rick sabotaging everything as his last hurrah, being like, I'm going to make sure all these women have no job. And that bleeding through, right, into, like, you know, the governmental ways at work or whatever. But who the fuck is this pastor who being like, this is also my plan? It's like, where are you? Where did you come from? Who the fuck are you?
And not a hot priest. Don't get excited. This isn't Fleabag. This isn't Night Ass. Right? No.
Right.
This is some fuck-ass pastor who apparently Elena knows because she babysat his daughter.
Sure.
He owns a cattle ranch. Weird. First of all. Okay.
Yeah.
Choose a job. Like, both of those are full-time jobs. I don't understand. What are you doing? Choose one. Your taxes are probably really weird. I don't understand. And him immediately coming in and being like, yeah, so right before Rick died, he sent me a text and is like, my dying wish is for me to fire all the women in this town and burn up all the stash. The weirdest thing, I talked about all the women, so I'm not that shocked about it. The weirdest thing about everything that he said is that he somehow got into the Salvatore house and got all of the Vervain in their house. How'd he get in?
Yeah, what?
Did you leave the doors unlocked again?
Right, is this guy an undercover agent? Like, what is this? how does he have the materials to do all these crimes back here?
Right.
It's all figured
Did
out.
he, like, the power of Christ compels you to get in, or is he also the, like, window guy? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Who the fuck? I don't him and all his lackeys, though. Like,
Yeah.
I don't blame him for trying to audit the blood bank, because finally, someone in this town is waking up.
Yeah.
The blood there, it should be going to humans, all right? I don't blame them for that.
Yeah.
But everything else was weird. That one guy who walked into Matt's room without knocking.
Yeah.
Matt could have been cheeks out, dude. What are you doing?
Right. You don't know what he could have been up to. He could have been straight jerking it. That would have been rude.
Well, that's in a
Walking
hospital.
on.
You can't jerk off in a hospital. That's illegal.
Right.
He could have. That man would have been in his right to arrest him. You can't do that.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? You are, maybe if you're not a vampire, you are under a threat of law, so you don't have nasty shit.
That's a crime. I am part of the religious police, so you can't do that.
Right.
It's just, what do you mean that, where did this guy come from? I don't understand.
I'm just so confused, too, of, like, everything here is moving so fast, right? Of, like, somehow they have this whole secret plan of, like, if this happens, we're gonna initiate the protocol or whatever that, like, entraps all of these people and we eradicate them or whatever. And it's like, listen.
Right.
That seems full of shit, right? Because you have been dealing with a vampire problem at this point for 4 years. Like, they have been here for 4 years, and your best bet for law enforcement and mayoral guidance or whatever has been like, if we see him, like, maybe we'll stake him with something or, like, shoot him with a gun, but, like, that's not really our prerogative, right? They haven't been very helpful. So it's like, you're telling me you had this master plan here, ready to go, that Elena's parents were, like, signed off on, yeah, that's fucking sick, let's do it.
That part
this whole
wild.
time, and this has never been deployed until now, until you found out there's children vampires within the establishment of government. That seems ludicrous.
I mean, obviously, they would have a break glass in case of emergency plan, right? Like, that part doesn't surprise me. What doesn't make sense is, how was it taking them this long to wake the fuck up? And then also, hey, Liz, why do you not have a backup plan? Because when Damon comes to you and is like, hey, girl, so there's been a coup. What's your backup plan? And she's like, oh, well, what do you mean? The government would never turn against me. And he's like, girl.
I have bad news.
I have bad news. It's been done. So sorry. That sucks. You know? That's not great. That was a lot to me. There's like 17 things happening at the start of this episode, which is not helpful, because I assumed 2 things were going to happen this episode. I thought Elena was going to burn this town down, and I thought that Bonnie was going to help her, and that's not what happened.
Yeah.
And that makes me sad. Instead, I mean, there were some funny bits, don't get me wrong. I thought Damon was on one for quite a bit of this episode, which was nice.
Yeah.
Him wanting to kill Matt was pretty good.
It was so funny. It's so good at being like, yeah, dog, I don't care about him. I would have let him drown. And I'll kill him right now. It's annoying. I'm sorry.
I'm going to kill him in Liz's house, and then I'm going to kill him in front of this pastor's house. I don't give a fuck.
I'll do it every day, every time. There's an opportunity, I'll do it. You can't stop me.
I thought it was very good, because I do feel bad for Matt sometimes, because he really is just kind of dragged around, and he doesn't want to be alive. He's like, I didn't ask for this.
Yeah.
I desperately need to know your opinion about Caroline and, in quotes, Tyler.
Yeah. Listen.
Listen.
This is making the Caroline Klaus thing make more sense in my brain. Plus, also way more deliciously messy, right?
Listen.
Yeah.
So Klaus is alive.
Klaus is alive.
Which we
Shocker,
knew. We knew.
Everyone. Yeah.
We knew, but...
And he got yeeted into Tyler's body. And he's pissed. Also, I love... One of my favorite things about this show is when they have someone who is not the person, like, inside another person's body and having to kind of live their life for, like, a day is so fucking funny. And Klaus in Tyler's body, when he keeps getting phone calls from Tyler's mom, and he's like, ugh, this incessant woman. I was on the floor. I was losing it. It was so fun.
I was very suspicious last week about Tyler's actor being able to do Klaus. He did a lot better than I was expecting.
Yeah, he had fun with it. Like, you can definitely tell the Klaus-isms were in there, which was nice. And then, like, they have this little... you know, Tyler, aka Klaus, Caroline, rendezvous, because Caroline's so horned up, and it's like, thank God you're alive. I don't understand it, but I do want to dick you down right now, please. And him being like, well, you know, it's me, hello, and it's like, damn, like, y'all are so close. Uh-oh, that could have been a problem.
My favorite part about this whole thing is Klaus, in this moment, finding out that Caroline has been kidnapped in this van, and is like, I'm gonna rip apart the police infrastructure. I don't give a fuck. And Rebecca's, I'll burn it all down. And it's like, you know what? All right. And y'all know I'm not a Klaus apologist. He's still on my show list. It's just a little bit easier to look at him when he's in Tyler's body. But Rebecca's also there too. Him only taking Caroline and being like, well, Rebecca, first of all, you'll be fine. Second of all, I need you to slow them down so I can go dick down my wife. And she's like, we're literally family, first of all. Was so good to me.
Yeah.
Because she's so annoyed. She's like, what about, first of all, who are you? Second of all, I thought you were dead.
Right.
I literally mourned you. Was very important to me, but I am glad in that moment that Caroline punched him and is like, I have to go, I think she's like, I have to go sanitize my mouth or something. It was, I will never be Team Klaus. I also need to understand the logistics of when you come back to your body, because Klaus, real Klaus, has a haircut now. And
yes.
When did that happen? What happened there?
Did you get that done in the coffin? Like, what's going on? Right. We got barbers in there? In the caves or whatever? What's going on?
We got celestial barbers. What's going on?
Yeah.
I have a couple of questions. Yeah. Speaking of questions, Bonnie, I mean, all the girls are going through it this episode. Because Caroline was drugged. Right. Elena's literally dying.
Right.
So that's not great. I'm waiting for Bonnie to just lose it and kill everyone.
Release your inhibitions, feel the rain on your skin, kill these motherfuckers who did you wrong.
I want her to do it, and I'm gonna be team her the whole way. I will forgive her for all of it.
Yeah, she keeps losing, and I fucking hate it. But we're definitely playing the seeds of, like, the snap is happening, right? The snap is happening because she's doing too much on the dark side, right? She's got this new, power source, whatever the fuck, and she's, like, tapping it in and being like, I can do shit you've never heard of before. Fuck with me. And starts by trying to, save Elena, and then Grandmom is like, hey, honey, don't, please. Because they're going to be real mad at you. Don't do that. And she's like, got it, for sure. Sorry. No, I won't do it again. And then she does it again with Klaus and
That
Tyler.
time wasn't her choice, though.
I know, it wasn't her choice. Like, she had to do it because Klaus was, like, threatening to kill himself and put himself in someone else's body. So, like, you had to do what you had to do. And then Grandma was like, no, for sure, for real this time, though. Like, I mean it. I meant it last time. I really mean it this time. Please don't do this, because something bad's gonna happen. And she's like, I got it. I'm so good. I'm in control of myself and my powers. And she's like, I don't think you hear me. And she's like, no, I got it. And then you see her grandma just, like, dissipate into dust in front of her because the witches are mad. The spirits are mad.
Yeah, Grams was like, I wasn't worried about you, girl.
Right, yeah, it's like, I am on some level, but also, you gotta think of, you know, your ancestors. I got shit. I got plans up here. You know, I'm doing stuff. Like, please don't make them mad at me. Whoops. What?
I'm so tired of watching Bonnie suffer. I'm done.
Yeah.
And I know that the writers are done because that is, like, the whole show. But I just want to make it explicitly clear to everyone, I'm done. I'm done. I'm so done watching her suffer. And I was just, before the inevitable happens to her, I just want to see her snap. I want to see her snap, and I want to see her get her vengeance, because I'm fucking tired of it. I'm pissed.
Yeah.
It annoys me.
Yeah.
But I know it's not going to happen. I'm just pissed about it. That's all.
Yeah.
One of the things, it wasn't funny when it was happening, but I thought it was funny as an audience member. Watching Rebecca three-wheel that conversation between Elena and Stefan in the stables, in the cattle, I think it was stables, was so fucking funny. Where they're crying with each other and they're like, I picked you because I loved you, wham, wham. And it's like, so I'm here, by the way. Hi, I'm Rebecca. I'm listening to this conversation. It was just a very good choice that I appreciated a lot.
Yeah. It's like, you think you're slick? I'm always tapped in. I love gossip. I'm always listening in.
And I know that, I know Rebecca is like, waiting to watch Elena die because they think they hate each other, but, Elena, you don't have to choose between the Salvatores, okay?
Yeah.
You could.
You got to work it out in the remix, you know.
You too. You could.
Action in there.
Rebecca could make you happy if you wanted. I just thought it was a nasty choice when Stefan and Elena both said to each other that they were smiling when they weren't, because what's wrong with you two? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
I know that I'm supposed to, as an audience member, care about this relationship in this episode. I don't.
Yeah.
It's fine. If it makes Elena happy, fine, I guess. But I was not in it at all. No. The scene at the end with the two of them watching the sunset, I was like, wow. Okay. Sure. What great friends these two are. I think it was hard because watching that, all I could think about was when Elena remembered, finally, everything that she had been forced to forget.
Dude, I hate it here so bad.
I'm so
done. I didn't realize that was a side effect of vampirism. But that's fucking messed up. Because she's like, oh damn, all that shit. Which, and again, I'm glad it happened quickly, right? Because otherwise that could have just been a thing that was always in the background. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride era for Damon. So I do appreciate that they're like, all right, let's just inject that into her brain space and be like, oh shit, you were first, and you told me you loved me, and then you made me forget it. But it's like, goddamn, I hate it here. I hate it here. Ugh.
It is. I get why the writers are doing this. Fine, whatever. But Damon straight up looks her in the face and is like, I would have saved you. I know you would have been pissed because Matt's gone, but
right.
I would have let you have the choice to get older, which is what you've always said that you wanted. And also, yeah, I am selfish, right? Like, I would have saved you. But fuck me for finally listening to you, right? Like, and for her to look that in the face and be like, yeah, I guess I will still stick with Stefan, who listened to me, and save Matt. Girl, why are you fine? Why are you fine with this?
What happened to my girl with the grit, with the desire, with the fucking...
Writing in the cemetery.
Yeah.
Get up.
Right. Seriously, I've never seen a bigger case of get up. Girl, get up in my life.
And, you know, there's a lot of things that she does not get a choice on. I'm assuming this is it. This is just her being like, well, okay, you know? But, Elena, you get to be mad here. Like,
right.
Even if it's not something that you can come back from, you get to be pissed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think actually what I feel about that scene where they're sitting on top of the roof is that we've seen this a couple times. Stefan is really good at helping people transition to becoming a vampire.
Yeah.
And that is the vibe that I got from that, is that he is going to be really helpful as a mentor for her. But not a partner.
Right. Like, he's very... Yeah, you're right. Of, like, there is that sort of experience and easiness that he can provide to someone, particularly Elena.
Yeah.
Throughout this, and, like, doing the whole, like, you know, one day at a time, baby steps kind of energy here. And being like, these are the tools, it's gonna suck, but also, you're not alone, and it's gonna be great. Damon, not good at that, right? That's not his bag. That's not his thing. But as far as, like, a long-term thing outside of that, it's kind of like, that's all that he's actually really good at giving her, Stefan, of, like, that sort of foundation and feeling like you're not drowning.
Right.
But also, that's, now you already had so much life to live, now you got infinite life to live, hypothetically. And that's, at some point, not going to be enough, right? Mm-hmm. It's good for now, and it's helpful, and it's genuinely a nice and thoughtful relationship in this point in time, for what it is. But it's like, how long is that gonna last?
Right. It's just... He's consistent, which isn't a bad thing, especially when everything is topsy-turvy right now, and everything is heightened. That consistency is going to be really helpful right now, as you are getting settled. But Elena doesn't... She's going to want more.
Right.
She's going to want more than that.
Yeah.
I just don't... I don't know, man. I do think, though, that maybe some of the acceptance that we see early on at the end of this episode came with the fact that she did not have to explicitly kill to change.
Yeah. Yeah.
That it was just, like, touching the blood and getting it, and them making her have that tear slip out when the blood went in her mouth. Fuck y'all for that, first
diabolical. Of all. Nasty work. Yeah.
Fuck you. It was so nasty. I think I am just curious now, because as of right now, all of the originals are still alive. I said last week I was going to look up when the actual original show started, and I haven't done that yet. I need to remind myself. But they're all alive, so seemingly that show was going to start, if it has not already. Because Klaus doesn't have his blood anymore, which rip. But he was, like, finally honest with Rebecca and was like, I don't love you. I like being a fascist instead.
It's actually way cooler for me.
But now I don't... Now I'm trying to figure out what the fucking trajectory of the show is. Now, like, what is the goal of this season that we're working towards? Because I had thought we had a little bit more time before Elena changed.
Right.
So now it's like, okay, if the originals are still, like, if Klaus is still kind of a problem, but not as big of a problem, because Elena's a vampire now, then do we got to worry about this Jonestown dude?
Right.
Is that the thing?
Because I'm a little nervous. I'm scared.
I'm a little I'm a little worried about these two linking up because they're seeming like they're on some shit. I'm not clear right now on what the plan is. Is it Bonnie? I don't know right now. I'm not sure. But we don't have to worry about Elena going out in the sun because she has her daylight ring, so I feel better about that.
Yeah, she's got that bling. She's ready to roll.
Yeah. So, I'm questioning it, but at least we have a little bit of direction because next week is titled Memorial. So I'm assuming that we are going to the mass wake of everyone who passed away. At the end of this episode.
Oof.
So that's not great. I mean, is that where we're going? Is it just cults this season?
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's Oops All Cults, I'm gonna be a little snooze underwhelmed here.
Is that the town is like, oh, it couldn't possibly be supernatural stuff. It's just we're just ascending into cults. Great. Okay. Well, I guess we will find out. We do have some amazing patrons to thank. Would you like to start us off?
Absolutely. Thank you to Greg Lautner.
Ooh, thank you to April Dobrev.
Ooh, thank you to Kristen Stewart.
Ooh, good job on your song. Thank you to Calissa Loveland.
Pew, pew, pew. Thank you to Sean Salvatore.
Ooh, thank you to Megan Pattinson.
Oh, thank you to Katya Karp.
Ooh, thank you to Genevieve Morgan.
Ooh, thank you to Danielle Burke.
Ooh, thank you to Janae Bennett.
Ow. Thank you to Sophia Salinger.
Ooh, thank you to Dan Zeklos.
Ow. Thank you to Emily Ozera.
Ooh, and last but certainly not least, thank you to Jaylene Ivashkov.
Pew, pew, pew.
I have a fan fiction for you today. This was written... No, I didn't look at the author. This was written by badboy_fangirl.
Okay.
The title is You Only Know What I Want You To. And the summary is Elena remembers a few things as she starts transitioning into a vampire. And it's all one chapter.
Okay.
In her three-dimensional glory, Elena stands in her bedroom and watches herself with Damon. He is gentle and sweet and open, and she is shocked and touched and confused both then and now. There is pressure in her chest that makes her feel as if she is drowning all over again, but this time it's emotion flooding her ears, nose, and mouth, not water. It's the desire to reach out and grab a hold of this Salvatore, the one standing just a few feet from her, the one touching her other self, kissing her forehead, and clasping an all but meaningless locket around her neck too speedily for her to see it. The vision vanishes from sight as quickly as it appeared, but the knowledge doesn't vaporize with it. That night, the one where Damon brought back her necklace and stood in her room and laid himself bare and changed the terrifying memory of Jeremy dead on the floor to something strangely sweet, that was the night she fell in love with him. It would be so much easier if she could feel rage choke her now. If this could be like all the other times Damon had made her want to slap him, if the instinct to be angry with him would just surge through her, and she could go and find and pick a fight with him. Then it would be all over. But she doesn't feel that. And now she remembers the exact moment. Now she can't wonder how this happened, how she got here. Now all she can do is wonder how she'll survive knowing that when she becomes a vampire. End scene.
Ugh. God.
Like, how do you live? How do you live with that? I don't... He did it to her so many times.
Yeah. I'm so sick of these people. I cannot.
It's just... How does she not just run and just fucking deck it so hard?
Yeah.
She has more strength than I do. I don't know.
God, yeah. It could be, but...
I can't believe it. Well, friends, we would love for you to tell your friends about the show. Provide us some recommendations for upcoming bonus episodes on our Patreon as we get into February. And also enjoy a hobby. If you have a hobby, tell us. I would love some hobbies.
This is going to be a year of hobbies. Let's get into it. Let's do it together. Man.
We got to do it. And as we say here in the Pacific Northwest,
get bit.
Ooh.
Ow.
Into the Twilight is an Earbud Media production. You can follow us on Twitter at Into the Twilight or on TikTok at Into the Twilight Show. You can find me at Cody Corral on Twitter and Allie at Alexandria Does. And you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/Into the Twilight. We have merch, so much stuff. All those links are in the episode description. And make sure to rate and review us on your favorite podcast hosting platform. It really helps the show. Thanks. Bye.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.